Hi everybody. I am going to share this on my Facebook page and then we'll get going. It's our live pop up on our page. Do you know how to get there? All right, everybody. Hello, welcome to Life at Lunch with the WCA. So my name is Cody Hafer, and I am the brand new Prevention Program Specialist here at the WCA, working in the Prevention Program. If you don't know much about the Prevention Program, that is where we work on the Worth Project, we work with the Youth Rep Program, and do all kinds of prevention education programming in schools, and with community organizations and community groups here in the Treasure Valley. I'm here for a very specific reason today. Today is World Suicide Prevention Day. And this is National Suicide Prevention Week, and September is Suicide Prevention Month. So I'm here to talk about suicide prevention today as part of our prevention work here at the WCA. I'm gonna put my mask down here on the ground. Oftentimes we talk about and think about suicide and intimate partner violence or domestic violence as both serious public health issues, but they're often thought about and prevention efforts are directed towards them in very siloed or separate ways. And what we know is that there's actually a lot of benefit in us kind of doing the work of suicide prevention and violence prevention together. There's a lot of really intricate and intimate connections and correlations between violence and suicidality or having thoughts of suicide. I have really important information that I want to share with you, so if I look down at the papers in my hands, it's because I want to get the information right. But what we know is that multiple studies have shown that 23% of domestic violence survivors have attempted suicide. And that rate of 23% is 20% higher than the rate for other populations that have no prior exposure to suicide. So that really demonstrates that there are some really serious connections between intimate partner violence or domestic violence and suicide. So it's very important for us to not only think and talk about suicide prevention on World Suicide Day, September 10th, but kind of throughout our work as we are working in violence prevention. I wanted to share some other statistics with you that I think they're kind of hard to sit with and hear, but I think they're really important for us to know. So I have some Idaho statistics and then national and world statistics. So Idaho has the 5th highest suicide rate in the country, and our rate is actually 1.5 times higher than the national rate. So suicide is here in Idaho. Our communities are very much being touched by suicide in a big way. There's a youth survey called the Youth Risk Behavior Survey, or the YRBS, and the 2019 results from the YRBS suggested that 1 in 5 students, young students, high school students, have seriously contemplated attempting suicide. And 1 in 10 students have actually attempted suicide 1 or more times in the last year. So I'm just gonna let that sit for a second. 1 in 5 have seriously thought about suicide or attempting suicide, and 1 in 10 have actually attempted suicide at least 1 time in the last year. And that's here in Idaho. Suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death in the world in young people ages 15 to 24. And we know that someone dies from suicide every 12 minutes here in the US. So those are some pretty heavy statistics about the impact of suicide here in Idaho, in the US, and actually the whole world. And what we know is that as we're navigating quarantine, we're navigating more isolation in the aftermath of COVID-19. Things can sometimes feel a little harder, and people feel a little more isolated and disconnected from one another. So that's why it's really important for us to talk about resources and how we can help. And so I'm going to shift gears on you now. So I want to share resources that we have here at the WCA, and then some suicide prevention resources that are available in Idaho and here nationally in the US. What we know is that, especially for survivors of violence, intimate partner violence, domestic violence, sexual assault, sometimes tapping into one piece of support or taking away one burden from the pile can really help reduce those thoughts of isolation and hopelessness. So that's why I think it's really important for our supporters, the community, everyone to know about all the awesome resources we have available here at the WCA. We of course have our emergency and transitional shelters for folks that are experiencing domestic violence and are needing another place to live. So that is available for folks to access. We also offer counseling and support groups and case management here, and that's open to survivors. You don't have to necessarily be a resident in one of our shelters, but our residents in our shelters can access those resources as well. We are still here, we're still open, we're still operating. A lot of our resources are virtual, but they are still available. And you can go to the Get Help tab on our website to look at all these resources, how to access them, sign up for them, and we'll have to tell you if it's virtual or not as we talk about the resource. In addition to counseling, support groups, case management, we offer lots of financial education programs, which are really great. You know, sometimes finances, or you're struggling with how to figure it out, how you're going to survive with the finances and your money. And so these classes can really be helpful to do that skill building and gain that knowledge on how to be financially solid. And of course we have Advocacy Services and our Hotline. So that's core advocacy services. Those are still happening, even during pandemic days, as I call them. And our hotlines, I'm going to read you the numbers. So our domestic violence hotline, both of our hotlines actually are 24/7. Domestic violence is 208-343-7025. 208-343-7025. And our sexual assault hotline is 208-345-7273. 208-345-7273. So in addition to all of our resources, there are really important state and national suicide prevention resources. There's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That's available 24/7. They also have a chat feature available 24/7 on their website. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline number is 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. Here in Idaho, we have a hotline as well, and that number is 208-398-4357. 208-398-4357. And you can call that number, you can text that number. Calling is available 24/7. I think texting is as well. And we have an online chat feature available through the Idaho Prevention website. That is available 3 p.m. to midnight, Monday through Friday. There's the Trevor Project, which is an amazing online resource and hotline for LGBTQ plus identifying youth. So they have online chat and texting available 24/7 from their website. And you can call 1-866-488-7386. And that number is available 24/7. 1-866-488-7386. 488-7386. That's the Trevor Project. The last lifeline or hotline I want to share with you is the Trans Lifeline for folks who identify as transgender or non-binary, and that is 1-877-565-8860. 877-565-8860, and again, that is also available 24/7. So all these hotlines are available to call in to get help. If you are having thoughts of suicide, you can call those numbers. If you're a concerned friend or family member, you can call those numbers and ask for help, how to help. You can always call our domestic violence and sexual assault hotlines. We are here to talk to you. And if we feel like we need to refer you to one of the suicide hotlines, we will do that. We will help connect you. So you can always call us as well. There's this hashtag, this tagline called #BeTheOne2. And it's be the one to do one of these 5 steps, or all of these 5 steps. And those are: be the one to ask, be the one to be there, the one to keep them safe, the one to help them connect, be the one to follow up. So ask, be there, keep them safe, help them connect, and follow up. These are really 5 important steps. And the first step is asking. And a lot of people feel a little unsure or weird about it, but asking the question, are you thinking of suicide, is really important, and asking it in that way. And that opens up the door to follow through on those other steps and help connect people to those really necessary resources, like a hotline or one of the Pathways Crisis Centers here in the Treasure Valley. So I want to wrap this video up. We're hitting about 12 minutes, and I want to remind you that in the US, someone dies from suicide every 12 minutes, and we have now been on this live for 12 minutes. So I want you to think about that, remember that, and if you are having thoughts of suicide, I want to say to you that we need you. You are important, and we are here at the WCA, and we're here in the Treasure Valley, so keep going.